before I was supposed to fight that day, I got into a really bad street fight where I nearly died. I was hanging out in Edinburgh outside this pizza shop called John Wildwood's, where everyone kind of hung out, got pizza, hung out outside, BS, did whatever. College kids would go there too, so there was a lot of times where college kids were intermingling with the high school kids. And there was a group of wrestlers that were drunk, going in to get pizza, do whatever, drinking like they were doing. I got into an argument with one of the wrestlers, and we got into a fight. I was kicking his ass standing up, and then he got underneath me and got behind me, and he was getting ready to suplex me over his shoulders. So I dropped my weight down to try to prevent from being thrown, but he was probably, 195 pound, 200 pound guy. It's the night before the fight, so I'm probably at 121, 122 pounds at the most. So it was pretty easy for him to souffle me over his back. So he suplexed me, and my head ended up hitting this, this planter. They had, out in Edinburgh, there's a sidewalk, and they got trees planted all the way down the sidewalk. So they got wood, which basically is made up of 4x4s, two stacked up on each other, and they got different designs with soil in them. My head went, bam, the back of my head went right off the back of the wood and knocked me unconscious. He must have hit me a few more times after I was unconscious, because when I woke up and and finally got to look in the mirror, I had black and blue marks all over my face. So he knocked me unconscious. He must have punched me a bunch of times. And the next thing I remember waking up to someone must have called an ambulance on me. And I have paramedics. I don't know who they were. I don't know if they were with the police or whatever, but I got nervous because I knew I was just in a fight, and all of a sudden I'm waking up and I have these paramedics like trying to pull my jacket off, mess with my shirt, and I pushed up. I just kind of went crazy and scrambled, and I ran out in the street, got hit by a car, rolled over the hood of the car, got up and took off, and I just ran. I must have went home or whatever. I really don't remember much, but I know I had like a really, really, really bad concussion. I didn't tell no one. The police never came to my house or nothing, so I assumed that they just dropped it or whatever. But the next day, that was a Friday night. Saturday, I go to the fights. Al Zook's there. He sees me. He's like, "What the fuck happened to you?" I'm just like, "Oh, I got into a fight yesterday." He's like, "Jesus Christ, are you all right? Blah, blah, blah. Can you still fight?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm still fighting." So, I get through the medicals. I don't know how I passed the medicals, because I'm telling you, man, I should not have fought, man. I was all fucked up. So I'm in there, I boxed. Every time the dude hit me, bam, I fell down, man. Freaking, and they finally stopped the fight after the first round. And I think the ref probably stopped it. I can't imagine it lasted more than 40 seconds, which was embarrassing. And, the crowd doesn't know what the heck happened to me the night before, but that was embarrassing. So, but I placed second in the Golden Gloves, which was kind of ridiculous. So I went back home, whatever. And, the next couple of weeks after school, I ended up having to go to the nurse's office in school for within the next 2 weeks, as I went to gym class and we were playing torpedo ball, and I remember getting hit in the head with a torpedo ball, and bam, I went unconscious. So they took me down to the nurse's office and said, "Oh, you went unconscious, blah blah blah." Called my parents. They picked me up, took me home. Never went to the hospital, nothing like that. I just told my mom, "Oh, I'm fine, blah blah blah, everything's all right." So I'm sure I had like a super duper bad concussion, because I didn't have the wits. I didn't have my wits back to me for probably at least a month after that happened. So that was my first fight.